Hi there, today we'll go over the updates for Anytype desktop version 0.47. So as usual, there are timestamps below if you want to skip ahead. All right, so this year, 2025, we have seen the Anytype team really trying to improve the user interface and make it more user-friendly for people who are maybe coming from other apps such as Notion and Obsidian. First up, we have some changes to the widget panel. This icon is new for creating a new object, and we also see that all objects is now a permanent part of this first widget here in the panel for the space. Another thing that has changed is favorites is now called pinned. And I do really like this change because now we have in the upper right corner of every object a pin icon, which makes it super easy to add it or remove it from the pinned widget. The next change is the lower right corner used to have the help menu. It has now moved over here to the widget panel. And the widget panel itself has also changed some things. This right here, the icon, does seem a little bit confusing to me because I assumed this would be settings for either the space or for my vault, but it's really just for this widget sidebar. So you can use it to rearrange your widgets here, the placement of them, as well as to delete or remove them. And then you just have to click done when you're finished. While we're here, I do want to show you the bookmarks. If you have this in your widget panel, if you select create new object, you can now just directly paste the URL or link into this box instead of opening up a brand new bookmark widget, which is also another time-saving feature. So something else that is new in the graph view, if you click on here, you can see I've got some of my objects are sorted by the collection, mainly how they're connected. If you go up to the settings over here, we can see that there's something new called type edges, and if you toggle this on right here, it will gather everything by type. So you can see here everything's organized by pages. Let's move over here to see here are all my collections, my previous my queries, bookmarks. So it is a nice way to see all the things in your graph view organized by type. Now let's move on to some other quality of life improvements. So if I select an object, last update 46 introduced this new properties sidebar panel. And so it opens up on the right side. And if we click here on edit type, we can have some more options. Now the biggest option that I'm most excited about is the properties view right here, properties view. And right now it is set to lines. So this is referring to right underneath the title of your object, you have some properties that are here. If we switch this over to list, you'll see that it now looks the way that you're used to if you're coming from apps like Notion or Obsidian. And let's see what else I have in properties that we can move into that area. If you scroll down a bit in the screen to the properties section, you can see under header, here are the 3 properties that are here right now. And I have these connected to this specific type, my workout type. And I can just click and hold and then drag it up into here, which moves it into this space now. So if I move all of these are things that I want to keep track of. Let's select save. And to get out of this panel, you want to, again, re-click right here. And there you go. One improvement I could definitely see would be the option to collapse this. So right now, if you enable the list, it will always be present here. You can't really hide it at the moment. So there are some other quality of life updates. One other one that I do want to mention is, let me go back to types, the calendar view. It seems like you should be able to drag things around, but it's not working. So what you need to do is go over here to the settings, and here under layout, we are on the calendar and we want to change the date property to a custom property. So I have a custom date called workout date. I'm going to switch it to that. And let's click out of that. So now you can see my calendar sorted by the workout date. And I can now click and hold to drag it anywhere else I want to. So again, your object needs to have, let me open this up, a custom date, and you need to have that enabled in the calendar layout settings in order to use the drag and drop on this calendar feature. Next up is the Obsidian import, and when 47 was first released, there were some bugs in it. I'm currently recording with version 47.5, so at least on a Mac, the Obsidian import is working correctly. And let me show you what that looks like. So you can choose to import in a couple different ways. If you have your text menu, you can use import to space here at the top. You can also, under the arrow, you can also go to right here. Under the arrow at the very bottom, we've got the import option. And so let me select import. And now you can see we have a new one called Obsidian. And let's select Obsidian. Basically, you need to import an entire folder that has your .md files in it. Okay, so I'm going to select import files, and my Obsidian folder is called notes. Select this entire folder and select open. So the import process has started, and I didn't have that many files in there, so it shouldn't have taken too long. Okay, so let's see where it imported to. It looks like it made a widget automatically here, and here it's called notes, so let's click on here. So the notes folder actually came in as a page, even though it has like a folder icon here. And then everything underneath it is the individual notes that I had within that folder. So if I open up one of these, let's take this one. So I think what would be helpful is if I opened up my Obsidian so that you could see what it looks like. On the right side, I've got Anytype. On the left side here, we've got Obsidian. And so you can see here, this was a link to another note in my Obsidian vault. And here I do have it. Yep, it does work. That was linked also, and that came through. So let's look at the graph view. So we can see here, here's the notes, the vault, and all the pages that are connected to it. And this has a lot of bookmarks. So overall, I would highly recommend, if you're thinking about doing an Obsidian import, start out with a subfolder of your vault. Don't move everything at once until you look at it once it's imported and see if it suits your needs, because you still might have to do some cleanup with whatever comes in, depending on the tags and depending on what comes in with your tags, depending on what comes in, what gets imported. This is really great and will help a lot of people if you're trying to move notes between different applications.